Welcome to Awaken Health Pod. I'm Jennifer Grogan, Integrative Health Coach with Greenleaf Wellness here in Central Illinois.
And Shauna Scordell with Inspire Wellness for You out of Arizona. We are going to talk today about how to improve focus and accountability. So thank you for joining us, and we hope that you enjoy some of our tips because this helps us in our daily life and our work and so many other areas. So, well, we're just going to get started real quick today.
Yeah. So one of the areas that we're going to go into first is the focus. I know a lot of people have full-time jobs and they get stressed out at work. What should I do? And I know that you and I work from home, so it's really hard for that separation. So what I like to do is, every hour that I put into my work, take a 10-minute break, and put all the distractions aside. I've had days where I take my phone and it's always on vibrate, but in silent, because I don't like the chirp all the time because it's very distracting, and you get too many, it's like throw that thing across the room, but especially when you get on those group text messages. But anyway, I like to take mine.
Those ones. It's like, oh, I'll get to that. I can come to that.
Yeah. But if it's you, it's like, oh, I got to respond. So like the top people. But anyway, I like to really dive into work and getting rid of the distractions. So if Facebook is a distraction, I'm guilty. Because we do our work on the computer. So it's like, okay, you can take 2 hours away from Facebook, turn it off, focus on what you need to do. Then when you're working really hard, need a break, you can take a little peek, respond to messages if you want, go for a walk, stretch. So, if you work really hard for 30 minutes, maybe a 3-minute break, go in the kitchen and have a little healthy snack, or, stretch and get the circulation going. So I know, like, when we were going through IIN, and even when it's nice out and I'm working a lot or researching a lot, I need that mental break. Going for a mile walk actually helps because you're circulating and you're clearing and you can think and you come back all refreshed. And so I really like doing that.
Especially with 800 hours of schooling with IIN almost.
Right?
Yeah, those breaks were good, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what are some things that you like to do?
Well, it's funny you said we're always on the computer. It's like I will work so hard to get off the computer, but then I go to the phone. So it's like, I'm putting the computer away and then I'm on the phone. Other emails or, platforms and stuff like that. And so it's just like really one device to the next. And, for me, this is kind of off subject from technical like devices and stuff, technology. But for me, focusing, I'm the same as you. I like to work in a quiet, dedicated space. But really what I try to focus on my priority. So whether it's by the day or by the week. So for example, it's tax season. I know I could be working on taxes, but for this specific week, I had like 14 big things, big commitments that, I had to show up for: clients, consultations, my Daniel Plan group, a couple appointments, some, health appointments for myself. And for me, what I like to do is I like to decide what is most important for that week. If I have billing, if I have payroll, whatever it is, I need to focus on those tasks first before you get kind of carried away doing things you want to do, or, I'll get to that tomorrow, or something comes up. So I stay focused basically by holding myself accountable with what's most important either that day or the week. And that helps me so much. And I really like that because I'll look at my schedule for the whole week. I'll write down what's most important from the days. And then every time I go to kind of, check in with myself or get myself back on track, I'm looking at the same list. So rather than thinking, what am I supposed to be doing or what sounds fun right now, every time I'm looking at the same list, and then I'm crossing off as I go. It won't be in order, but every time, I got an extra minute. What can I do next? I look at my list. Okay, bang, So that helps me. And then just maintaining my health, making sure that I'm eating well, that I'm taking my vitamins, because I have to feel good and I have to feel well. And then we get all that brain fog, from too much sugar, not enough sleep, being way too scattered and not organized. And brain fog is like a dysregulation of the communication signals in your body. It's a real thing, when it's just clouded. And so it's hard to stay on task and be on point and stay focused. And so I like that you mentioned taking breaks, because getting outside for me is really important. Even if I don't have time to take a walk, just doing a little chore outside, or, parking further so I can kind of walk further, just going outside and enjoying the breeze and the wind and the sunset and whatever it is, that helps kind of ground me and recenter me. And it just makes me feel good, to be my best on every area that I need to be. So those are things, for me specifically.
I like prioritizing too, because it's really important. I used to look at the calendar for the whole month. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's like a Monday, the 1st of February, and you're looking at the 28th of the whole month and getting overwhelmed with things that haven't even happened yet.
Yeah.
They're not even close to coming. And it's like, oh, I'm thinking 3 weeks ahead, And so then I'm like, okay, let's focus on per week. To now, I know what my week entails, but I only focus on what's important that present day, because I feel like it's just better for me. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that until I get there. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to view everything more like that, and then prioritizing the top things for the day each day, and then getting it done. Because what happens is, if it's really big and it's overwhelming to you, more than likely you push it off. Well, then when you're at that point where you have to do it and you have no energy, and you're like, oh, the procrastination can set in, and you're like, I don't want to do it. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, that tomorrow becomes the following week, comes the next month, and it just never gets done. So it's really important to focus in and do what you don't want to do first.
Absolutely.
And enjoy the things that you do like to do.
Absolutely. I'm big on procrastinating, but I'm big on, if I am a little nervous or uneasy or dreading the big project, I push myself through it. And just like you said, do it first. And that's what it saves you. It saves you from all the stress and the guilt and the worry and the procrastination. And oh my gosh, that's how you get so behind on your goals.
Exactly. So do what you don't want to do first, and then you'll find that everything else just comes more easier. You got more energy and you're enjoying it, and your day ends on a positive note. So if you're pre-thinking ahead of things you don't want to do, you're going to stress yourself out, and you're going to be like, oh, dreading it. But just make it fun, be positive. It's not going to take you forever to do it. And once it's done, it's done.
Absolutely.
So
go ahead.
I like to do my banking online stuff on Mondays, just because I know it's there. I can see it, it's taken care of, and I can just move forward. And, you find certain days that work better for you. And so I think that's important to figure out when you do want to do QuickBooks, taxes, stuff like that.
Yeah. What I've been doing different this year compared to last year, because we love to research. Our passion is health coaching. So we get to, have an income doing what we love, but you still have the business aspect of it. You have other work that you do. I have other work that I do. So it's really easy to think of all these things we want to do and areas we want to grow and topics we want to focus on and ways to connect with people and network. Well, last year it was like all the time I was just putting on these things that I wanted to do or ideas with the business. And then it got to the point where I felt like I was spending so much time on that, I really needed more action. So even though I was working at a pace I was happy with, I still needed more action than desire, kind of. So this year, I don't like seeing, I use my notes more than my calendar, but my calendar is my daily and weekly tasks. My notes were like 200 or 300. And it could be from family to personal to this business to that business to other things. And it's at 130 right now. So I've been really good at deleting as I go. But mostly the reason I brought this up is I'm not adding to it. If there is something I'd like to do in the future, or a business opportunity or an event, or something I want to create, I just keep it here in my mind for right now. I don't put it on my list, because when I'm putting a lot of things on my list, I'm not attacking my days as much as I'd like to.
Right.
So right now I'm keeping my priority, I'm keeping my list, I'm keeping what's important, and I'm doing it within like a 2 to 3 month time frame. If I can get all of this done in 2 to 3 months, then I can make another list. I can start to grow another list. So right now, everything's near focus. If I do want to do something, I do it now instead of planning to do it later. If I can't do it now, I'm not going to put my time and energy into it right now. That's been really helpful for me, because it's so easy to get so overwhelmed with, all the ideas and thoughts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Taking note of what you really want is key, and prioritizing the highest need, want, and then reflect, is it really what I need, and do I really want it?
Exactly.
Because you can think it and get excited about it, but then if you go to do it and you lost the excitement, it's not really worth pursuing. And so taking the step back and reflecting on why you're thinking it and wanting it and desiring it, and then from there, that's how I do it. And then I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. How can I do it? And if I need help, I try and figure out in my network my sources to go and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and get feedback. Well, what do you recommend how I could do this and apply it, And so
good for you.
that's
where accountability comes in.
Yeah. And talking about accountability, it develops a trust within yourself that if you want it and you hold yourself accountable to it and you actually do it, the confidence that comes from that is huge, because then you're like, okay, well, if I can do that, I can hold myself accountable more to do more, or find a really good accountability partner. And I have one who pushes me tremendously, and it's like, nope. Sometimes I'm a little resistant, like, nope, I don't want to do that, but then they keep the pressure going and hold you accountable. And it's just amazing the doors of opportunity that open when you start diving in and just taking notes and applying what they might be teaching you, or dive into what they're trying to show you without, bashing you on the head. You need to be doing this, but that accountability shows you a lot.
We're health coaches, exactly. We don't beat our clients over the head. We are there to hold you accountable. It's so important. Same thing, especially with you for business.
Oh yeah, I love it. And I'm blessed to have the accountability partner that I have. I'm learning a lot. So if you can find an accountability partner, I'd recommend doing so. And if you need health accountability, we're here.
And we hold each other accountable, not intentionally, but
we do.
We're not in competition or anything like that in our local community. And of course, our niche as health coaches is a little separate. And maybe we started similar with our schooling and our, plans and goals, but you're on your journey and I'm on my journey, and you're fine tuning in yours and I'm fine tuning in mine. And I love watching us both blossom and grow. But we both have our down days. She's got her days when it's like, okay, the world is really here today. And then same with me, and we're not on the same pattern. So I feel like I can be there for you when you need it. And I know you're there for me when I need it. And it's helpful because we all have those days. My pastor was just talking about this in church on Sunday, saying that, we know what it's like to feel our best and to feel like the king of the world, but we don't have that every day. And that's hormonal and things that you have going on in your life. And you can be doing great in one area and struggling in another area. So that's where, your faith and spirituality ties in. But for me, especially as a woman with our roller coaster of hormones we can have, whether we're completely balanced, we still have fluctuation. And it's one thing when I have my ton of energy to dive in. And then a lot of people, they say, don't overdo it, burn yourself out. Well, for me, when I do have my really high energy days, I take advantage of that. And I do all my things and I make my rounds. But what I do as well is on my down days and when I have less energy, I take advantage of that. So instead of pushing myself and going, why am I don't have it going for me today. I have 35 things to do. Those are the days I go, I got a lot done the past week. I've been killing it. And I'll just keep it simple the next couple days. I'll just, stick to the basics. And that's how you can avoid being overwhelmed and still feel, productive. That's important to me. If it's getting later in the day and I'm like, oh, it was one of those days where you have new things happen and new calls and, sometimes clients, they're able to meet with you that day or the next day if you have an opening and you make it happen. And, so then your day can get thrown off, but at the end of or towards the end, I still say, okay, what was that one thing that I really needed to get done if I hadn't already? And I make it happen, and then you feel productive.
Mm-hmm. I know sometimes you send me these texts of like your weekly to daily, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. And then I'm like, wait, I have a lot too. And then that's why I'm like, remember to breathe. Remember to rest. It's okay. You don't have to do it all in one day. And I think that we have to give ourselves permission to realize it doesn't have to be done in one day.
For sure.
And that's why we have 7 days in a week. And that's why we have a whole month, so prioritize. And, you said something earlier about foggy brain. Well, a great way to de-stress and deconnect from that foggy brain and bring you back to reality of your present moment is meditation. Meditate is just what you focus on. And we're all the time focusing on our worry, stress, anger, always worrying about what other people think of you. But even in the workplace and at home, you can take 5-10 minutes, close your eyes, be present, and just breathe. We don't remember how to breathe. And when you can get connected to that and take time out, put yourself in timeout, mark it on your calendar, 2 to 2:15. I'm going to take a 15-minute break. I'm going to breathe.
Yeah.
Just let everything else go and just be present with yourself. And, it helps you to focus in on what maybe your bad habits are and what habits you can change into. It helps you reflect on everything. You get more creativity that way because you start visualizing, maybe you have a goal of losing weight or you have a goal for business or whatever. I mean, if you just quiet yourself and visualize that, it's not like I'm saying you think your way to it, but it's like, if that's your goal set, then visualize it and become it, feel it. What's it feel like to you and stuff like that? Because it really does work. It gives you a perspective of what that would feel like to accomplish a goal, right. And it calms the brain. So then you're going to get more clarity. So I'm all about just chill for 15 minutes, put some calming music on, sit in silence, whatever, and I think I've said that in the previous podcast show. My kids might find me on the floor somewhere in the house, like, what are you doing? And it's like, I need my time. But It's really important when you're really busy, you don't breathe right.
I know.
And you do get stressed. Mm-hmm. And it's not good for the adrenal glands. And that's why it's always, back to, like lessen the load. Relax, self-care, because you want to nourish those adrenal glands, but you want to take care of yourself, your mental focus, your mindset, what you think you become. So if you're going to be negative all the time, that's what you're thinking. That's what your environment is. If you want to be positive, become positive, be uplifting for others. I find that when I'm down, I do better by lifting others up. Mm-hmm. So when I had surgery, like 3 days later, I was immediately, how are you guys doing? Cause I'm like, oh my God, I got how many weeks of this? I can't do anything. I can't walk. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, okay, well, I can lay here and breathe all I want, or I can get in reality and just start checking in with my clients so I can get uplifted. And I think that's what carried me through, was putting everybody else before my boohoo. I can't walk, so it's like, but now I'm walking, I'm fine. But meditation is key for a lot of different reasons, but for stress and a busy workload, take the time out and breathe. And if you're driving, you can do it while you're driving. Do it before you go to sleep. Just relax the body. It's great for the whole system. And stress, is in the gut. So if you're holding on to stress, you're not going to detox properly. So just chill. Take time to chill.
I've been focusing a lot on my daily breathing, and I've been enjoying it. And I'm so glad you touched base on the meditation, because I wanted to mention, you kind of said this, visualizing, like you said, is important. So think about your goals and visualize having them, meeting them, how you're going to get there. Of course, enjoy the journey. That's important. But really is taking the time to think your thoughts through. We are in a busy modern society, and it's so easy to be like, groceries, kids, 3 clients. And it's like, that's you telling yourself what you're doing. Well, how about, I'm going to meet with this client. These are the situations we're going to go over. I'm going to meet with this client. These are the topics we're going to go over. Tonight for dinner, I need to go to the grocery store to get that item. So taking your time to think through your day will help improve your focus and accountability, because it's like you're not just touching the surface, you're taking time to self-reflect. Sometimes someone can do something and we can go, oh, that bugged me. And that's it. We feel bothered. We don't know why. We never think it through. Maybe it was us instead of them. Maybe we bothered ourselves, So just thinking through what happened in that situation. How did I feel about it? What would I like it to be next time? These are important. I really think just thinking your thoughts through. As a mom, we always hear, everyone's heard the phrase, I can't hear myself think. It's so true, because I'll be caught up sometimes not being in tune, which is not my favorite. And it's like the kids they'll say something crazy. Okay. While I'm finishing my thought, and then I'm like, wait, what did you just say? And it's this crazy thing. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I was thinking about something else. But, thinking your thoughts through is important. And so what I'll do with the kids, I'll say, hold on a second. Let me finish thinking, get it through. Okay. Now I'm available. What did you want to tell me? That way I can be present. I can give them my whole undivided attention. But it's just it's so true to do that. Then you know what you're doing, keeping yourself on track.
My kids are the same way. It's like they come home from school. How was your day? But then as soon as I have to do an email response and I'm in that deep thought, okay, what am I going to say? It's, oh, mom, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, if I stop doing this, I'm not going to remember what I was going to respond with. But then I'm like, and then I'm like, hold on a minute. But then you feel bad putting them on hold. Mm-hmm. And then you're like choosing work over your kids. Then you have to go back and apologize and say, I've told you this before. When I'm doing this, just for 1 second, hold that thought. But I'm the type person, and they're probably the same way. If you're thinking it and you don't have the opportunity to get it out, you forget it. And I'm like, I don't remember what I was going to say. I do that all the time because I'm in that moment and I'm like, oh, and then when you cut me off and I can't say it, it's like, I don't remember what I was going to say. And it's been 20 minutes, so I've already moved on 1,000 thoughts later.
I know, especially as a woman. And, waking up early is important, because if you're getting up later than you planned, or you're getting up at the same time that the kids are getting up, it's true. You're starting your day later. You're not having that morning time. I like to take a calm morning. I don't like to get up and get going. I really enjoy waking up, doing what I need to do, getting myself together, thinking about the day, trying to, have the morning with the kids before school. And then I'm ready to go, Yes. So, but I couldn't imagine, sleeping in real late. I just couldn't imagine. I probably should once in a while for the body to get caught up on sleep. I like to wake up. I would like to get up more closer to 5:15, 5:30, but I get up between 5:45 and 6:30, especially with it being winter time. But anything after that would be considered sleeping in on a level that I wouldn't have planned for. And then you are a little bit more rushed in the morning and hurry and this and that and grab this. And, oh yeah, I forgot that appointment. And oh shoot, I was supposed to go, the post office. And so I just recommend getting up earlier, so that way you can stay focused, prioritizing your day, I'll call it, for staying focused. The brain fog is a real deal. So depression, anxiety, sleep, lack of sleep, stress, insulin imbalances, hormonal imbalances, you mentioned adrenals, all of this really does truly have an effect with that brain fog. And usually when we start working with our clients, they see that and they experience it diminishing rapidly and going away so fast because of our process and what we're working on. And so that's important. Insulin wreaks havoc on your brain.
It's also important to prioritize your drive time. Mm-hmm. Like you go do an errand, you come back, oh crap, I forgot to go do this. Then you leave again. But if you're going to be out of the house multiple times for that week, know your location of where you have to go. That's what I've been doing, and it's helped a lot. You save gas and you save time and energy. So you're not backtracking all the time. So like today I'm going to Peoria. I've got 3 or 4 stops. Okay, I'm going to do it in order so I can just come home when I'm done, and then same for tomorrow. And it really does help because it organizes your thinking and the pattern you're going to take for the day. Yeah. So you're going to know where you're going to be, exactly around, but what time you're going to be there. And it's just not like you're going to OCD about it, but it's like, it just helps if you are one that has to stay on a schedule. Like when I was recovering, Sean was like, oh my God, I can't believe how much you actually do. Like he knew, but until he was living it, it was like, I don't think I say thank you enough, and I'm like, oh, so I'm like, you get it. Cause he was like, well, how am I going to go to work and do this and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you'll figure it out. And he did great. But it's just, if you're one that does better driving around, come home, have to leave again. I don't like doing that. Once I'm home, I'm home. It's like, so prioritize your drive time. But there are foods that can help boost focus, like green teas, dark chocolates. I usually do about 78 to 90% dark chocolate. It's got a little touch of caffeine, which I'm not a fan of full-blown caffeine, but it helps with the serotonin. So you're going to have a calming effect. And dark leafy green vegetables, great for the mood.
And
some blood flowing.
Fishes, salmon and tuna for your omega-3 omegas are great for the blood-brain barrier and improving your focus.
Mm-hmm. Blueberries.
Absolutely, because the antioxidants antioxidize oxidation in the body, which contributes to brain fog and correlation to diseases. And so the antioxidants are really great for you.
Avocados, which I know we both like those.
I have to say something. You mentioned the green tea. So I was going to touch base quickly on caffeine as well. Too much caffeine, I strongly believe, interferes with your focus. It just botches you up and makes you frazzled, and you're doing too much, too fast, not thinking through. I think it messes up focus. But I do think that a little bit of caffeine, if you're one to have it, can help just keep you where you need to be, keep that tiny pep in your step, keep you alert, on track, and, hopefully getting quite a bit done. I'm not at like a crazy maniac pace, but.
I'm not for all that caffeine either.
Yeah. But you do have green tea sometimes, right? Do you drink decaf?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just get jittery. I don't, like I said in that one podcast, I was the Mountain Dew queen, for years. Wow. And it's just
sugar 1 and sugar 2.
Yes. And it just, messes with my digestive system. Yeah. And I can't, I get backed up and jittery, and I had acne and all that stuff. So now it's just strictly water and green teas. Mm-hmm. But I love my dark chocolate, 1 square a day. But, and there are some supplements that you can take too, like your B12s, your folates, your iron and stuff like that. So.
B12's great. And being deficient can contribute to brain fog as well. Mm-hmm. Same as magnesium. Very, very important. But having an organized workspace is important. waking up early, less sugar, being mindful of your work. If you're burnt out, maybe you need a break, a day off, a vacation, checking your work schedule, like I mentioned. But feeling your best and just taking into consideration your relationships, your spirituality, what you're eating, what your routines are, morning routine, evening routine, are you taking time for yourself? These are important with focus and accountability, because I think if you're really off somewhere, if you're not putting effort here or you're not putting effort in your relationships, I think it throws you off. It throws you off your game a little bit. So the more you can do to keep things in balance and on track and to be mindful and look at the whole perspective, I think that's really helpful for maintaining your focus.
And you'll feel more balanced. But schedule the self-care days in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to have a 24/7 busy schedule.
Right. Yeah.
And if you can take time to set a timer and organize your workstation, you don't have to spend 8 hours organizing, but just make it clear so you can stay focused, put all distractions aside. So if it's your phone, put it in the other side of the room where you have to actually get up on a break to check it and put it back. I've done that. Leave it in the room above, your upper level, if you have a 2-story home, just hide from it. And then if you are on the computer, try your best to stay off all social media sites until you've worked a good amount of time to accomplish your goals, and reward yourself with going on there and saying hi to people. But
hold on 1 second, quick break, 1 second. Okay, hopefully that worked out okay. Thank you for waiting just a second. So another area I wanted to talk about, I know I mentioned having an organized workspace. I believe I mentioned time management. I have another girlfriend who is also a certified health coach, and she recently brought up a good one to me, and it was, feng shui. So you could feng shui your work environment, your desk, your office space, whatever it may be, your vehicle if you drive for work. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That's her thing, but I wanted to share that because I think it could help you with focus and accountability.
I love feng shui. It's great. It's the natural flow of the room, how they connect with organization, and it just takes the stress off the work area in your living room or wherever you're going to be. Because if you're driving around in a crowded car and you got stuff from your house in there, it just stresses you out more.
Yeah.
And then if you can eliminate that stress, and if it is the clutter in your workspace, make sure you go through the papers, go through filing, and just make it more presentable for your liking, and then your peace of mind. It's really cool.
And those little things, and just, don't work in the room you sleep in, because it affects your sleep. It affects your, romantic life. So, and they probably talk about that in feng shui. I don't know, but it's important, for those designated areas. And like you just said, I mean, unconsciously, I think we can have little stressors just kind of come into, our little bubble here, at like the car, because I got to clean out the car. I need to have the kids clean out the car. Why does my car look like an art class? And
or stickers on the windows, or
a buffet. I don't know. And this is a little off subject from what we were just mentioning, but artificial sweeteners, I know I always say this wrong. Is it aspartame? Aspartame. My best friend always laughs at me because, she's in Oregon and I get it wrong. But anyway, regardless, it's an artificial sweetener. It's not good for you. It increases brain fog. It's foreign to your body. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. So instead of your body being at an optimal functioning level, it's too busy figuring out what the heck is going on and what you gave it and how do they produce it and metabolize. And so that's important. And then medical conditions that are related to chronic fatigue. We mentioned adrenals, inflammation, gut microbiota dysbiosis. There's so many things that cause chronic fatigue, and that affects our focus and our memory. And so paying attention to our health, reducing our inflammation, eating the anti-inflammatory foods is, reducing the sugars, I keep saying it, but it's so important for mental clarity, having mental capacity in the brain, achieving your goals. So you're working to something, and then you can put those away and you can start some new ones. Enlightenment, just when you're really bloated and you're really full and you've eaten a lot and your body's never getting a break from digesting. I think it's almost like the more bloated you are, the more, like your brain is not going to be able to focus at an optimal level. It's like the more full you feel, the more your brain is like that with its, brain functioning. So when you feel slim and you feel like you're digesting and your bowels are good and you're cleansing, it's like the same thing with the brain. It's like a balloon. If it inflates, maybe not so good. If it's deflated, you're feeling better, leaner. It's important.
So have a good amount of fiber. I know we talked about that in last podcast, or inflammation or what it was, but it helps the liver, it helps the whole body just detox. Yeah. So, if you go, say, 2 weeks without the breads, the sugars, the carbs and stuff like, or minimize a lot, you'll start feeling more energy. And a lot of people say, oh, I have more clarity. And that's what happened for me. I had to go off the carbs and sugars because of the PCOS. I just felt like crap all the time. Bloated, fatigued, couldn't think straight, couldn't talk. My words would slur and just all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm done with it. And when you take that decision to change everything and you take the challenge, within 2 to 3 weeks, it's amazing how you will feel. And then you just get addicted to eating healthy all the time. I used to go to the grocery store before I changed my eating lifestyle. And I was like, what's the big deal? All these people go in the health food section. You're like, that can't be any good, But now I'm one of those people. And it's like, now I see why they were going down the healthy aisles. It's like you get addicted to it. Yeah. And you want to learn more and you want to apply more. When you see your body changing and you just feel more clear in the brain. It's amazing. So.
Yeah. And in the Daniel plan for the groups I facilitate, one of the things, I believe it was Dr. Amen that said it, as far as sugar cravings go, your brain can change in 48 hours. Sugar cravings more like 4 to 5 if you're doing a really good job, but 4 to 5 days. But in 48 hours, your brain can change from less processed foods, less sugar, less soda, less caffeine, more sleep, whatever it may be. And it's like you're 2 days away from feeling your best is what the Daniel plan says. And I love that. It's like we struggle so bad because, now I'm going to go there with the gut. Our gut bacteria controls our cravings. It controls our decision-making, controls what we buy at the grocery store. It's not your fault. I'm telling you right now, you listening, it's not your fault. It's your gut bacteria's fault. So what you want to do is you have to work and put in energy and effort to change your microbiome to have a more population of a healthier bacteria. So that way you can assist your gut in making those healthy decisions while you're shopping, cooking, meal prepping, picking your recipes. And so that being said, how much we struggle by not doing it, every day bloated, every day a day closer to all those chronic medical conditions that we try to stay every day a day closer, versus breaking the cycle, having enough and changing your lifestyle, abandoning bad habits and building healthy, lasting habits. You'll maintain better focus completely, 100-fold over the long run.
Definitely. Take the challenge.
That's all important. Also, I know you mentioned accountability, having a mentor, a health coach, checking in with your spouse for your goals, whatever it could be, your best friend, to just keep building each other up, encouraging each other, making sure each other is staying productive. And if you do have kids who are in sports, or if when as an adult you were in sports, be careful and be mindful, because a lot of the head shaking and football and soccer hitting the head, Dr. Amen's book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Body, it relates. So traumas and head injuries, they do have an impact on your brain health and focus and even relationships and how you think. And so being mindful and taking care of your brain, because what do? We take care of what we see, So take care of your insides, your gut, your brain, your adrenals.
The whole system.
Yeah. So, and I know I mentioned magnesium is linked to brain fog if you're deficient. That's because it's really connected with neurological health. So, like I said, the brain fog is the real deal, because if you're deficient in some vitamins, if your gut is out of whack, if you're struggling with, ailments and symptoms, get health support. Have someone hold you accountable. Start a recipe group. Go to the grocery store with a buddy, whatever it is, so that way you can feel focused and get rid of all the unfinished projects. And, they weigh you down. Sometimes it's like, I got to do this and I got to do that, and, 700 things. And then it's hard to just get rid of 100 of those. But after like 3 days, you're like, oh, I'm so glad that's done. I didn't finish it, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's totally out.
Yep.
So
what is it they say? If you want to change your habits and say you want to work out, you find someone that's motivated, that goes to the gym all the time, and ask them to hold you accountable. If you want to, whatever it is, if you want to be top-notch business guru in what you do, then get a mentor that models what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. I have a business mentor and I'm proud of it. It's like, I love mine. He's great. But no, just, if you want that accountability, find it. Yeah. If you can't be trustworthy to yourself to do it alone, then find some help. And that's what we're here for too, is to help you with your health.
And just know that if you feel like crap, or you're struggling, or you're having memory loss, or you're forgetful all the time, or you can't think straight, or you're frazzled or scattered, or a lot of unfinished projects, kind of feeling confused, that can be reversed. You can see, you can experience an enlightenment and start focusing on life's beauty again, and feeling energized and feeling good and feeling on top of your game, and then knowing that your health is on the right track. And it all falls into play, if you put your effort in that area, and we're here to help you.
Yep.
So thank you for watching. Have a great day.